Hi. So, I usually talk to myself a lot about my thoughts because for some reason I haven't had the habit of talking to other people about what's going on up here. But I figured, also I usually write, but I figured this time I would talk to myself in a more public way, which is this essentially allowing people to watch me talk to myself. So, now you know the title, and I wanted to kind of explain how I got to this question itself. Do I even exist in time? And I will give you some context because I feel like in my mind it makes perfect sense, but you exist outside of my mind, and if you are watching this, I would love for you to understand some of it. So we'll start with birthdays and why I don't like them, and I feel like this may be the reason many other people don't like their birthdays as well. But yeah, I just wanted to know why I have such a problem with them, or why I aggressively, actively don't want to talk about my birthday or don't want to have anything to do with it. That day in everyone's life is advertised or publicized as the one day where you're supposed to be treated different in a good way, where you're supposed to be treated like a princess, you know? Like the rest of the 364 days, you could be treated like a princess, but on that day, you should be treated like a queen. The rest of the 364 days, if you're treated like a queen, on your birthday, there is this expectation that you should be treated like a god. So basically, something different than what you have experienced all the other days in your life. That one day sort of has the expectation that the people that care about you would do something to make it different than the rest of your days. That is what essentially a birthday is. My phone just. Oh, wow. Anyway, so that's what a birthday is supposed to be, ideally. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized my birthdays are never like that. At least in the past couple of years, they have not been like that. I'm so sorry for my hair. I'm sitting right underneath the fan. I realized my birthdays are rather anticlimactic, you know? That is the one day that gives the people you care about an opportunity to show how much they care about you. It is the one day that gives them an outlet to show how much they really know you as a person and how much they really value the relationship you have with them. Whether it could be your best friend, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your child, whatever. That day gives you an outlet to show your love. I mean, obviously, you show your love the rest of the year, hopefully, but all of it is very highlighted on that one particular day, your birthday. And for my birthday, what I realized was no one really knows me. Now, why no one knows me, we'll get into that later, hopefully, but I realized these past few years, especially, that no one really knows who I am. Whether it be because of the birthday gifts that they've given me, or the way they act on my birthday, it just made me take a step back and sort of see how people see me. And it was a very painful and sad thing to observe, like physically painful thing to observe, that no one in my life actually knew who I truly was, knew what color I liked, or what books I read, and what were my hobbies, and what dresses I would wear, and the way I would speak, the food I liked. No one really knew that. And it was a very painful thing to realize. I think I've said that multiple times now, but it genuinely is. And of course, I've come to notice these things as my everyday life goes on. Like, my birthday is just this one place where I collectively realized that most people in my life don't know who I am. And part of it, mostly it's because the way they treat me on my birthday, that makes me realize, oh, that's not me. Like, oh, you really don't know how I am, who I am. But obviously the rest of the year as well, I see my friends say something, just like any insignificant thing, and I realize that they genuinely think I'm someone else. They they don't know who I am, because why would you say that? The same goes with my family. Sometimes the things they say, the things they do make me realize that, that's not your daughter. You don't know your daughter at all. And birthdays just highlight all of it, basically. So my main issue isn't even with birthdays in general, it's just what it makes me feel and what it makes me realize is that people around me, for the 100th time repeating myself, people around me don't know who I am. And it's very painful because you expect at least one person in your life to truly see you as you are, right? You expect at least one person in your life to speak for you, to speak on your behalf in case you are not in the room. You expect at least one person to understand you enough that they can make a choice on your behalf that suits you the best. A choice that you would make if you were there. And to realize that there is no one in your life who can do that is not a good feeling, doesn't bring good feelings to you. Now let's talk about why no one really knows who I am, or why no one understands who I am. Now, I'm not going to blame all of it on my friends and family at all. No, I do take accountability. I am shy and I am introverted. I'm not antisocial, however. And I do talk less. In fact, with my family, I quite literally talk very, very, I rarely talk to my family. So I think that would be my fault. Some of it would be my fault. With my friends, I talk a little bit more, but I still am quiet. I don't talk that much. So, you could say that, oh, it's because you don't talk a lot. How is someone supposed to know you if you don't talk at all? You're supposed to share, and then people will get to know who you are. And in that, I would say to my defense that whatever little I do speak, I think that is enough to know who I am. However little I do engage in a conversation, I feel like that should at least give people around me some idea as to who I am. I'm not saying you know me in and out with what I speak, but you should at least have a rough outline of who I am as a person, right? From the things that I speak and the things that I say. And a lot of the times, someone may argue that, oh, you just need to talk, you just need to open up. But I feel like people don't realize that a big part of asking someone to talk and open up to you is making sure you are a good listener. And that is where I feel like most of my I really have few friends, and that is where I feel like my friends may fail, because while they do encourage me to talk to them, I don't always feel like they pay attention to the things I say, or they notice the things I say, or the significance those things necessarily have. With my family, it's a different case. I feel like I don't want to get into that because that's a whole another story to unpack. But yeah, I feel like there is some part of me that should talk more if I want to be understood and known better. But at the same time, I feel like the amount of talking that I do is not really taken seriously in the first place. So yeah. And in everyday life, as I said, my friends will say something that just makes me realize, oh, that's not me. That's not who I am. Oh, you don't know me at all. Even if you say, even my best friend, sometimes I feel like there is such a gap, because I know her and I know who she is in and out, but I feel like she does not understand who I am, or she doesn't know who I am. And it's a very hollow feeling, honestly. It's a very hollow feeling when you realize that no one knows who you truly are. No one knows who you are as a person. There was this one reel that I saw from a movie. I think it was called Shall We Meet, Shall We something. And it basically said that the reason people get married is because they want a witness to their lives. And I think that applies to everything. Friendships, relationships. The reason I have friends, or the reason I would want friends, is because I want someone to witness my life. I want someone to witness who I am as a person. And that means understanding my actions and knowing what I would do before I did it sometimes. And so when I realize, or when I come to know that no one really understands who I am, it means that I don't have a witness to my life. And because I have no witness to my life, after I'm gone, will anyone remember me? And how will they remember me? What will they say about me after I'm gone? If they say my favorite color is blue, who is going to correct them? Who is going to stand there and say, no, her favorite color is burnt red? You know, if they say that, oh, she loved French fries, who's going to stand up there and say, yeah, that's true? Who's going to know me so well that even when I'm not there, they'll make sure my presence is there? So will I even exist? Or even now, do I even exist now if no one knows me, if no one knows me for myself? Like, people have these ideas of me, but that is not who I am, and I try to correct them, but sometimes the efforts are unnoticed, and the other times I just don't make an effort. I genuinely don't know if any of this makes sense, but if no one watches it, then I guess we're never going to know if it makes sense or not. But that's just the question that keeps me up sometimes, you know? Do I even exist? If no one knows who I am, do I even exist? And I'm not sure I do. Unless and until one person in your entire life knows you as much as you know yourself, I don't think you exist. You know? And I'm only 19, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is like all a stupid little rant because I'm unemployed and have too much time to think. But it still bothers me, and I hope I'm not the only one. I don't know. And I don't even know if any of this actually made sense, honestly. But yeah, I do want to try from my end to be more social, to be more talkative so that people can understand me. But I feel like that's not only in my control, you know? And as I said in the beginning, I don't remember if I said it or not actually, but I'm not used to talking about my thoughts with other people. The few times that I have done that, it just left me worse than I was before talking about it. So I'm not really used to talking about my thoughts. I'm not used to having an active listener. And maybe that's why I don't share about myself enough. I don't know. I honestly don't. But if anyone is watching this, I really, really encourage you to find at least that one person who understands you and who can confidently speak on your behalf when you're not there. And try to be that person for someone in your life if you're not already. And if you are, good job, you know. I don't know what the point of this video is. I genuinely feel like no one understands. I feel like I can much better comprehend my thoughts in my mind than I can when I'm speaking it to someone else. And maybe I need to work on my communication skills because I may have just wasted 15 minutes of your time. Or maybe you did actually understand some of it. I genuinely don't know. But it's dinner time, so I need to go. But yeah, I guess if anyone's listening, thank you for listening. I look a little bit swollen. I don't know why that is. Maybe because my sleep schedule is fucked. There's a lot I want to say about this, but I feel like it won't make sense. So I'm just not going to say anything. If this is your first impression of me, hi. I'm sorry, I don't know. Dinner time. I'm going to go eat dinner. Thank you for watching, and yeah, bye.